Welcome to the show.
Next topic. What's Trump been up to?
I don't know, man. He's
Since
been busy.
the inauguration.
Well, at his inauguration, he gave a speech. It was the best speech. I gave the speech. He keeps going on about his speech.
Big league.
He gave a bigly speech with his best words.
Do you think he said bigly or big league?
Bigly.
Who's-
B-I-G-L-Y.
who's
Who's Big Lee?
Like Big League Chew?
Is that like a big Asian?
Anyway, don't worry about it.
Okay, so first of all, just quickly, because it's so ridiculous. So there was a picture of the inauguration, and it was like, yep, Trump had no people at the
Yeah,
inauguration.
people. It's a big
They had
space.
There was a lot of
less
white
people.
It
chairs.
is a big space.
So, which was...
There were Nazis.
It was put out in a way that made him look bad.
Yeah.
That was the intention.
Yes. Well, yeah.
That was the intention, but using facts.
Yeah,
their intention
it's
was...
yeah.
So
Evidence.
the facts are that
It's
there
a
were less
photo.
there were less people at Trump's inauguration than at previous inaugurations.
He was the first orange president, not the first black one. I guess people are way less excited about that.
Did you just dab?
And people were going crazy about this. Like, okay, there's less people, and then Trump got very upset, and then his press secretary came out and said, "We
Sean
This-
Spicer.
this was the
Spicy.
biggest crowd watched live and on television by." For I
Any
can't remember what I
inauguration
said.
or
For
something.
any
I know he
inauguration
ended with
ever.
period.
Period.
Yeah. Gross.
Which was just not true. It was like complete.
No,
it's not
there's
true.
No, it's like on
inaccurate.
ratings. I think Reagan had the most. It wasn't even
Obama
like-
had more.
Obama would have had more for sure, but
And
Reagan had the most.
There was less people watching on TV. There was less people there, and he just said this was the most ever.
The
And everyone-
Washington Metro came out saying there was like this many hundreds of thousands less tickets sold.
So now he's a meme, basically.
Yeah, Spicer facts.
Yeah.
Hashtag Spicer facts, and there's people just saying wrong things.
I am a Nigerian prince. My inheritance has been frozen. I need your help. Period.
Period.
Which SNL made the funny joke of saying if there's one thing that's going to tell you someone's lying is them putting period at the end. Like,
Very
I'm a
true.
billionaire, period.
And then this other lady, what's her name? What's her job? I can't remember.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
So
about.
she was-
Kellyanne Conway.
Kellyanne Conway.
Which is Trump's campaign advisor.
So
I don't know
she
what she's now.
came and she was talking to CNN,
NBC.
NBC,
Chuck
Palahniuk,
Chuck Todd.
Chuck Todd.
Chucky.
Chuck
And
Todd
he
was
said-
asking
No
about
idea.
Sean Spicer's facts.
So why did you tell us this
Why
false information?
Why was the first press conference you came out full of lies? Was
I
basically his
said no,
questioning.
it wasn't falsehood. It was alternative facts. What? So now the phrase
Alternate facts.
alternate facts is now also a meme. So nothing's not true.
To be fair with her, she's just really bad at talking.
Yeah.
Like, I get what she's saying. She's just saying, you guys aren't necessarily right. Because you assert something doesn't mean it's true. And we're presenting our side of it. But it came across as she was saying, you have facts, but we have different facts.
Yeah.
That's not how facts work.
Yeah, so that's
That's true.
that's been a big thing that's going on.
Do you think someone actually did tamper with the photo though? Like it was like a photo before everyone got there or something?
No, I genuinely think there was less. There was all these. There was like a number of ways you could check like how many people are going to
Yeah.
come. So there was a number of like buses who got passes to get in there.
Right.
Was way less.
The security
Number
people
of
are crazy.
tickets sold on the metro, way less. The picture and everyone who was there would have been like, yeah, there's way less people here.
Do you think Trump's making this whole thing bigger than it is so that he can do other stuff while people are preoccupied?
Maybe.
No, because he wants to do the thing. The things that he's doing were like his campaign promises. So
So
he
it
wants
has-
people to pay attention.
Like what, Chris?
Today, I seen him. He's in his office signing his.
seen him?
Seen it?
I've seen him. I've
Signing
seen
his
it
signature.
myself with my
I've
own
seen
eyes.
it.
He's got a really long
I've
signature.
seen
It takes
that.
like
Yeah,
a
he
minute
goes like
to
it's
do.
like do.
So, like he's always said he wanted to, the Trans-Pacific Partnership,
Canned.
no deal.
Canned. Which is what Bernie Sanders also wanted to do. So that one's
Yeah,
mixed.
and Hillary, it was apparently was never going to get through the Senate or anything anyway.
I think Hillary wanted it, but she came out
so
saying she didn't.
did a U-turn and then
Yeah,
said-
she did a U-turn. Originally,
seems
she
to-
was quite pro.
She seems to do a lot of U-turns.
So the TPP, that's a proposed trade deal
PP.
TP?
between 12 countries, including Australia, where we live, and
Wow.
Sure is.
So it's
You really brought that home.
limit tariffs as we trade together.
What's a tariff?
It's like a tax that you pay on goods that you exchange.
It's like
Who do you pay it to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
to the
Olympics?
country that you're sending the things to.
What'd you say?
The Olympics.
Sorry, that's a throwback.
Throwback to what?
The episode where I don't know what tax is.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That was a throwback
Because you don't pay any, right?
to the Olympics.
So it also includes labour provisions like child labour, workers' rights, minimum wage.
Range.
Minimum rate.
Like the worst superhero ever. Minimum rage.
I'm gonna get a little bit angry.
Yeah, it sort of balances out labor laws. So it would actually have increased the labor laws in countries like Vietnam and Malaysia and stuff, which Malaysia had already started improving its human rights record because of this deal.
Go Malaysia.
So, like, it was like, we'll stop making you pay to put your goods in our country, but you'll have to raise your standards, which will raise your costs, which will sort of balance it out a bit.
Which could lead
So it's
to...
a good thing.
Well, it could lead to cheaper goods
It
and
has,
growth
there's a lot to it.
in their economy. But then Trump's big thing is we want American jobs. We want things to be manufactured in America.
Yeah,
So
and other
keep it
people
here.
were like, there was stuff in it that did intellectual property protection. So basically, companies could have sued governments based on the deal. That might have been a little bit overstated in terms of how many, because there are other trade deals where that actually can happen as well and does happen, and it doesn't work very often. There was also the fact that it might have made it harder to get generic medicines, like say in Australia, if a company owns the patent for it in America, then they might have been able to like stop you from, like, it would have just it would have given companies quite a lot of power in terms of that stuff. But that was a benefit to the US. America's not going to get a bunch of manufacturing jobs back.
Well,
There was a stat that
Trump
was
seems
like,
to think they will.
there was a stat that there was like there was more produced in America, like manufacturing wise, that has actually increased over the years.
Yeah.
It hasn't decreased. The factories that don't have workers in them because robots replace them.
Bloody robots. Down
You
with
don't
the
need a person standing there like hammering something if a robot can do it, and way faster and way more efficiently.
So no TPP. You know what else? Trump's brought back something called the Mexico City policy.
Is he building a wall?
It has nothing to do with that.
That's what I thought as well. But it's
He's
actually
not
it's
really
about
mentioning the
abortion,
wall
isn't
very
it?
much.
Because he
It's about
said he
abortion,
would.
yeah. So, to my understanding,
Abortion.
I know. Weird.
he so no NGO can now receive funding if they have anything to do with providing advice or resources on abortion
Yes.
In the whole country.
in anywhere.
So like the US government would provide support to various NGOs, and it will no longer provide any support to anyone who provides abortions anywhere in the world.
That's pretty huge.
Or that's what it used to be, is that people who provide abortions, but now it's people who give advice on abortions,
Right,
who
okay.
anything
Oh,
to
so
do
he
with
brought it.
abortion. So he's
Because
brought,
Ronald Reagan brought this one in
Yes.
in the first place.
and then Obama.
Bill Clinton undid it,
Yeah.
and then George Bush brought it back, and then
I think Obama
undid it.
wound it back a bit.
Obama undid it.
Oh, okay.
So that's what happened. So the Democrats undo it, and then the Republicans put
Wow.
it back in every
Now
time they
it's
come back
back.
in. Now it's back. But that was kind of expected,
That's
to be fair. Every Republican government. Like,
That's a
pretty big thing, though, isn't
So
it?
today there was
Reagan.
this picture of Trump in his office with like 9 of his advisors around him, and he's signing off on this legislation about abortion, and there's no women anywhere. I was like, this is why we're protesting.
yeah, and that when you put it the way you put it, it sounds like women aren't going to stop getting abortions. It sounds like it's just going to get more dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
There's probably nowhere in the world where you can't get an abortion.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
true.
Safely,
No, unsafely.
safe.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Safely
So
is what's hard.
if
So, like-
Trump
like-
makes it harder to get an abortion,
So
then
places like Planned Parenthood, like they get nothing from the government. They're doing their own thing.
and now women who want to get abortions are going to turn to possibly unhygienic, possibly dangerous
Possibly.
situations.
There's places you can get an abortion.
Yeah. I wonder if the donations to Planned Parenthood have made up for the loss of government funding.
Couldn't have.
Did their donations spike? And
I think people started donating to it because
I
a
have
lot
a
of people were
question.
saying you can counter this
What's your
stupidity by donating to them.
So no NGO can get funding if they support or do abortions. Is it legal to run a private abortion clinic?
yes,
Doesn't sound like it.
like privately owned, like it's a just
yeah.
yeah.
It's legal?
yeah.
They're not public. I would say majority would be
I
public.
think a lot of the
I'd imagine.
NGOs are like charities overseas in
Yeah.
less developed places.
Like, say if
that
Amnesty
help women,
International provides abortions to rape victims in a war zone,
they
they
get
would be
no
they would
help.
lose funding.
What? That sounds silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does.
The more you
Does
learn
sound
about this
silly,
one, the
doesn't
kind
it?
of worse it gets.
So that's
Why-
the thing with blanket rules. They do sound.
Why
silly.
is there the word Mexico in the title?
I'm not entirely
Mexico
sure.
City? It must have had something to do with
Must have.
Mexico City.
That's where it
Maybe
first
something.
started.
Maybe an NGO was doing something in Mexico City, and that was why Ronald Reagan brought the rule in.
I see.
So something else that happened. I don't entirely understand this one either, but there's something to do with mortgage insurance premiums are gonna cost more now because he's undoing something that Obama did right at the end, just at the start of this year. You don't know about that one?
This
I
is
didn't hear
out of
about
my
that
this
one.
is out of my depth.
Okay. Anyway, so
Like
it
Ma-
was a big thing like 2 days ago
Oh,
because it was like
yes.
that was
During the inauguration,
Yeah.
that was
all I
Trump,
was seeing was photos.
that was Trump's first thing, and then but now he's done other stuff.
What's the idea with it though? What's the outcome?
You pay a little bit more for insurance on your mortgage.
Right.
So
I see.
homeowners pay more. So he's ruining the American dream of owning your own home.
Well, that makes sense.
Who would that help?
Does it?
That helps
I don't-
taxpayers
wait,
pay
none of us
less.
know what it is.
Okay, so in Australia, if you
Yeah.
want to buy a house,
Yeah.
you need a deposit,
Yeah.
right? If you have less than 20% deposit, you need something called the LMI, right?
Mm.
That's the lender's mortgage insurance. So that's an insurance you buy so that if you can't make your mortgage repayment, the insurance company covers that for the bank.
Mm.
So it sounds like what he's saying is that now the insurance is more expensive, which means it's going to be harder to buy new homes.
No, but like we don't know why it was cheaper. They've always needed it. We don't know what Obama did to make it cheaper.
Oh, he made it cheaper.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. So Obama did something that made it cheaper, and
Yeah.
Donald Trump's wound it back. He's also what did he do with Obamacare? He did something. right?
He got rid of
Obamacare
it.
he's begun the steps to get rid of it.
But he signed an executive order already.
Yeah.
And it was something like ease the economic burden imposed by Obamacare, but it doesn't really
Oh my
explain
gosh.
what that means
So vague.
to anyone.
Anyway, yeah.
But they have come out and said that there will be an alternative for the 20 million people covered by Obamacare.
Yeah.
They won't just get rid of it, which is a good thing, I
won't
guess.
just slice it.
I feel like they're going to end up with something really similar because during the campaign he was talking about the things that he wanted to keep in Obamacare, and they were like the important things.
They're just
Like
going to
pre-existing
change.
condition, being on
Yeah.
your parents' coverage policy.
Yeah,
like,
the
you
thing
wanted
I
to
read,
keep
it
those
was
two
something to do with proving you're unable to pay for the cover.
Mm.
You're gonna have to. It's gonna be harder to prove that you can't pay.
Is it not crazy that in a Western world, and realistically the most advanced, I guess, country, if you want to sort of go that
Would
way,
anyone say that?
yeah, the most sort of at the front, I guess.
You'd say
Most
like-
advanced economy. I
Yeah.
would
It's
Yeah,
America.
the leader of the
Wouldn't you say like
free world.
Sweden or
Sure.
Norway or something for that?
Yeah, but
They're
I mean, like,
they're like the highest development index,
I
but
guess.
they're the biggest economy, most powerful
yeah,
country.
isn't it crazy that they don't have basic human needs in terms of like health cover?
Yeah, but if you just give it to people, then they won't want to work.
There's no health cover.
What's the incentive if you don't have to
Like,
work
if you-
for save your own life?
If
Like,
you were born in America and you grow up and you work and you break your arm, you cannot get that arm fixed without paying for it.
well, if you're working, your work will give you insurance.
Okay,
That's
but
part of your like
right,
income is
it's
partly
okay.
given
So
to
if
it.
you're unemployed and you break your arm, you're screwed.
Oh yeah, but if you're unemployed,
That's
America doesn't care about
crazy.
you.
Yeah.
If you're not working, America doesn't want you.
That is crazy.
It's the American dream.
Just get a job, yeah, Chan. Seriously.
Yeah.
I have a job,
Sort
Now
of
you
life.
have incentive to get a job. When
If
break
you
that
live in
arm, you're
Australia-
like, I need to get a job.
and you break your arm,
You get on workers' comp, and you
You
never work
get-
a day in your
you
life.
get paid by the government, and they
then no
pay your
one
medical
hires you.
bills.
Hmm?
And they pay your medical bills. It's called Medicare.
Well, yeah, you just go to a hospital.
That's right.
Which
Get
sounds
sorted
great
out.
the way you're saying it, but there's
It is great.
Medicare that sucks in some
All right.
places.
So Trump is also. I'm not sure if this is Trump or this is already happening. They're moving the embassy in Israel
It is Trump.
from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. That's Trump's idea.
Yeah.
So that's another thing he's doing.
To Jerusalem, which they don't currently recognize as Israel's capital. Like, no one does.
Yeah.
That's why all the embassies in the world are in Tel Aviv, because Jerusalem is supposed to be split equally between the Palestinians and the Israelis.
So they're working towards peace. That's what
Yeah.
the move's for.
But it is currently completely occupied by like Israel, and then
Yeah.
they also approved a whole bunch of new
And
settlements.
the Palestinian guys like, it's such a backward step, but it proves they don't want peace.
Well, the guy who Donald Trump made his ambassador to Israel is a guy who's pro single state solution, not two state solution.
Ah, right.
So he doesn't want there to be two
Interesting.
states. Yeah.
But they've been after a two-state solution for
Yeah, everyone
Ever.
says they're pro two-state solution, but it's never.
I'm pro single state.
interesting.
Yeah, that's because you're Korean though.
Good to know.
Listen, they've been fighting for so
Unify.
long.
Unify.
They have been fighting for.
Anyway,
Anyways,
so one other thing he did, maybe the last thing. This isn't really important, but he went to the CIA and gave a speech. Does anyone see that speech?
Everyone
I
made
did
fun
see
of it,
but I
right?
read a
So
lot
bad,
of it.
such a bad speech.
No one believes more in you.
You guys are gonna get so much backing. It's gonna get too much backing. You're gonna have so much backing. You're gonna say, "Hey, stop backing me." That's what
really
he said
say
to the
that?
CIA.
It does sound like him.
And
Not the accent.
I'm
but
excited for the
words.
backing.
seriously, it was insane. He said about Iraq, maybe we should have gotten the oil. Maybe we'll get another chance. It'll be okay.
What?
We gotta get rid of ISIS.
That's what he said.
Seriously.
Should've
And there's
cut the
then, like, after all these points, there's all these people clapping and cheering. But apparently, it's not. No one in the CIA was excited. They're all very upset with him. And then it was his retinue that he brought, his own gang. They all just clap and cheer.
His entourage.
Yes. Yeah, insane. So everyone was upset because he was standing in front of the memorial and just talking about the media and
Yeah.
yeah.
The outgoing boss was talking about how disrespectful it was to stand in
Yes.
front of it because he's standing in front of a memorial to all the people who have served in the CIA and died.
So all he
And
really
so,
needed to
like,
say
fuck
was thank you for all your hard work and putting your
Yeah.
lives on the line.
That's all he's ever really needed to say.
There we go.
Dishonest media. Anyway,
Trump.
You
so
really
Trump's
gotta work
been
on
yeah, I'm not
accent.
great. China. How's that?
that. China.
China.
Great.
So Trump's been busy boy.
That's
He
good.
has, but he gave China a real China was so happy about the TPP
He loves China.
being cancelled.
Yeah.
He says he's very anti-China, but they were like, yes.
Sweet.
I think if there's ever a moment when we see China take over as a leader of the free world's economy, it was that.
Didn't their
When he
GDP
said that.
fall for the first time?
China? No.
Yeah. I'm pretty
They're at
sure.
6%.
Great.
Maybe their increase, their growth.
Moving
been.
on.
So Trump is doing a lot, and it's
Busy.
been like 3 days.
I guess. It's exactly what he expected him to do, and it's
Yeah.
all the stuff he could have done. He said he was going to work on a wall from day one, and he couldn't do that.
Executive orders.
There's a lot of stuff he didn't get done, and he's going to have to start working with the Congress, which makes it a lot slower.
How many?
So this was his chance to make it look like, hey, I'm doing stuff.
How many executive orders do you think he'll throw about?
Ordeals?
Orders.
How many ordeals?
Orders.
I have
Like-
ideas.
Already? How many has he done already?
How many do you think he will?
How many do we will?
Yeah.
Like over his whole presidency? Man, I have no. Didn't Obama do like 100 or
277 was Obama.
Don't you
Right.
have a limit?
Well,
No.
the record
But
holder
it's a
is-
limited action.
Roosevelt was 3,700. So
Wow.
Far out.
That's going way back though,
Yeah,
and he
that's-
served for like
The last
A few
biggest
times.
was Clinton with 360, but
yeah.
360 and you're on for 4 years. It's one every 4 days.
Wasn't Roosevelt? You mean like Roosevelt during World War II? Roosevelt?
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Yeah, that's a lot of executive orders,
like
but that's
40
during
years,
World War
isn't
II.
He's got some
There's
work
a
to
war
do.
going
That's
on.
true.
They changed the rules.
we'll give him that.
He served for like 3 terms as well.
Yeah, they had to like change the
FDR.
laws to stop people getting. Anyway,